You said it's not for sale, but you're the CEO, you're not the owner of the company. Call the owner and tell him you have a proposal from a businessman that is ready to buy the company.
I am the company, Habibi.
You're the owner of the company? You're the owner of the
I
company?
am the company.
You're the owner of the company?
I am
Because last
the
time
company.
I am the company. I am the company.
She's fake. Everything she does is fake. I am a gentleman and she's a bitch.
I'm gonna leave this coffee right here on the corner of her desk.
Hey, Danya!
My God, guys, finally, this is that particular episode of Dubai Blings that I have been dying to analyze for the longest time, guys. This is that episode. I mean, the way this episode started, friendship, love, romance, empathy here and there. People are just lovey-dovey. And then in the last few minutes of the episode, Jesus, the drama. The drama. Oh God. That drama could literally last the entire season of the show, guys. That drama was a lot and I cannot wait to dig into it. So please, if you haven't seen this particular episode of Dubai Blings, I urge you all to go ahead and watch it because I would really love to know your thoughts about it. Yes, because there was a lot of lies. There was a lot of selective amnesia, pretense. Oh my God, guys. It was just so disgusting, especially coming from Danya. There's a lot I have to say. So we're going to get into it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to review it, all right? But before I do so, as usual, let me officially welcome all of you back to my YouTube channel. Hi. You are especially welcome back. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory, and I am the girl with the tea. The tea of this video is all about Dubai Blings. Today, we're analyzing the drama from episode 5 of the show, all right? So if you're new on here, this is your first time clicking on this video to watch, thank you so much for doing exactly that. You're the realest MVP. But please, if you're yet to subscribe or even turn on post notification to always receive a lot of my videos, please do not hesitate to do exactly what you see on your screen, as that's one of the easiest and fastest ways for you to receive a lot of my videos, especially if you are interested, in movie reviews, reality TV shows, and trending social topics. This is the space for you to get all of that juicy scoop. And if you're a returning subscriber, a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, all right? Without much further ado, let's get into this video. Let's start. So before we get into all of that Zina, Danya, and Ebraheem's epic fight, that happened at Zina's place of work in her office, let's first of all take it from the top, all right? So this episode opened up with Zina and Safar having conversations and, looking at LJ and Ebraheem's picture on Instagram. So they were quite surprised that, wow, how did these people get here? How did they become friends all over again? Now, if you cast your mind back to the event of episode 4, Ebraheem had staged a reunion or a reconciliation meeting between LJ and Farhana because he likes LJ. He has come to understand that LJ is a cool person. She just has a very, very petty mouth, right? And Farhana is his best friend. So he felt like he was caught in between people that he liked, and so he decided that no, he needed to make peace between these two people so that conversations around them could flow freely without him having to pick sides and defend people at every given point in time that they hang out for fun. And it was quite successful, although the ladies, they tried to trash out their issues, but yeah, they resolved their differences and they became friends all over again. And of course, social media was a witness to that reconciliation. They put it out there on social media. So Safar and Zina, they had seen the picture, they had seen the hashtag and they were not really happy about it because it felt like Ebraheem is a snake. He's two-faced, right? And he always wants to put himself out there as the better person, right? So they said, okay, fine, they'll probably have to warn LJ about who Ebraheem truly is. And then the conversation shifted to the event happening in both their lives, and that was where Zaina had broken down in tears, yes, revealing that she was really overwhelmed with everything that was going on with her work, family life, motherhood as a wife as well. At work, her time is being demanded more. They want her to be in the office more. Remember, she's a senior director at her office, and at home, her daughter does not really recognize her, and even when the doctor is whining for attention, it gets her really irritated because she's under pressure from work. And then that's the husband's fake bumblebee profile. She still doesn't know if it is true or if it is fake. So even though she trusts the husband over 100%, she's still not really certain. And for her, she sees it as a red flag, you know, that if there could be something like that, then it means she's not really fulfilling her obligations as a wife and mother to her family. So it was really overwhelming for her. Asafa was really surprised, you know, to see her break down, because for everybody around them, Zaina is the Amazon of the group. Zaina is the alpha female. Zaina is very, very strong, you know, so she's that one person that's like a rock that people lean on and not the other way around. So far seeing Zaina breaking down in tears, it really broke her as well, and she's really shocked. But anyways, the good thing is Zaina was able to trash out that issue much later on this episode as she had a conversation with her husband Anand. Yes, and guys, I really admired the mature way that they both discussed it. Yeah, so she confronted him about it, asked him like, okay, who is Jills, right? Because the profile name on this Bumblebee account was Jill's with his picture, and the husband reassured her over and over again that, listen, you are enough for me, I love you, such a thing does not exist, that picture is a picture from my newspaper interview, it is all lies. Yes, and yeah, even though she was kind of scared, you know, she went further to ask him that, okay, is it because I'm not always around on weekends, especially I let you take care of the kids, the family on weekends while I work? And he was like, no, that is good with it. I mean, guys, I just loved the way these two people understand each other's career, how they understand each other's life, their busy schedules, and how they complement each other. Because the husband told her, listen, don't worry about it. I am not complaining. I am good. I love you. You're enough for me. Overly enough for me. Yes. And I believe that, when we go for summer vacation, we will have time as a family to catch up from where we stop. Oh, and guys, you know the sweet thing, the husband even assured her that, listen, when he's with the kids, he tells the kids, or he explains to the kids how busy their mother is, and also ensures to make the kids understand that, listen, mom is not here because she doesn't want to. She's here because she is working for a better life for all of us. I mean, not like the husband doesn't have his own job or his own business that is running, but, you know, he really understands his wife and he's very, very supportive. And guys, that was just so sweet. And to be very honest, even though I was kind of scared, I'm hoping that Anand is really not cheating on Zaina, but his explanations, his reassurances, guys, it was really good enough for me. And then in the same episode, we saw a reconciliation and reunion between Zaina, Farhana, and LJ, and it was really exciting for Chris as well, and Brianna and the other friends of theirs, you know, at Lujane's residence. So apparently Lujane is very, very traditional. She's very, very conservative, and she really values their social norms there in Dubai, especially in the Arab world. So there's this new Saudi festivity celebration that was introduced by the Saudi prince in Dubai, and yeah, according to Lujane, she wants to be one of those people that celebrates it every year. So it was a very, very massive celebration at her house. Beautiful decor, VVIPs in attendance, and yeah, Chris Fade especially was quite excited that finally the two warring ladies are now on good terms, right? So there wasn't going to be any more drama at their gatherings. Still at Lujane's house, LJ was getting really restless. Now, if you all recall, in the earlier episodes, she had opened up about a mom not raising her as a child, even to adulthood, and she was yearning for a reconciliation between herself and her mom. So she had shared her mom's Instagram account name with Lujane, who had volunteered to help her make that reconciliation happen, right? So it was taking time, and Lujane, who was really nervous about the whole process, was not really giving her the feedback that she wanted. And guys, to be very honest, in this particular episode, I really appreciate appreciated Lujane's effort and commitment into helping LJ, to reconcile with her mom, because according to our own story that she had shared before and she shared again on this particular episode, she could really relate with LJ's situation because it's the reverse for her, but it's also a very, very similar situation. Remember, guys, she's divorced, she has kids, but she lost custody of her kids to her husband. It was a very, very messy divorce, and the fact that she's not with her kids, she's not really happy with it, yes, and so she has a career to deal with, and then the trauma of having lost custody of her kids. So hearing LJ's story, guys, it was more of like an opportunity for her to help someone else, right? To not go through the trauma that she's dealing with, right? Although it's taking time, but she's fully invested and committed in that venture, right? So every time LJ would ask her for feedback, she would tell LJ, oh, don't worry, your mom loves you. I've been chatting with your mom, and she really also wants to reconcile with you as well, right? But she's also facing difficulties because LJ's mom has a job and she's remarried to someone else, so there's a lot of, negatives surrounding the whole process for her, and she doesn't want to kill LJ's hope. So it's kind of like a dilemma that she's in. She's excited about what she's doing for LJ, but then on the other hand, she's scared that it might not work out at the end of the day. Anyways, the next scene was the men's outing. So the men of the group had decided to play golf, yes. And from playing golf, they had also ventured into sharing details of events happening in their lives. Now, beginning with DJ Bliss. DJ Bliss had gone ahead to share his experience with his wife, Danya, on Valentine's Day, about how he had taken her to his studio, written a special song for her, yes, using her name, and even giving her gifts, and the wife still wasn't satisfied and had gone on and on and on nagging about how she felt her feelings were not being considered in their marriage relationship. And the other guys were like, what? Like, how does that even work out, And Fahad was like, well, remember, I told you to talk to her. So he was literally blaming Fahad for even sending him on that errand, because, guys, let's all remember, DJ Bliss is that one particular cast member that completely dislikes drama. He would rather die than be caught up in drama, not even with his wife, Danya. And guys, the funny thing is that his wife, Danya, is actually the queen of pettiness and drama on this particular show. So I'm wondering, how is this guy even surviving at home? How is he even having to deal with all of our mood swings, all of our savagery? Anyways, that's their headache. And then the next person that's talked about his own struggles was Chris Fade. Now, Chris Fade was complaining about how they're planning for the wedding, they're preparing for everything, and whenever he is asked a question, to get his own opinion about something, he's very, very scared of even saying anything, because at the end of the day, those are questions to things that have already been answered. So it's all complicated for him, with his fiancée, Brianna. So he has decided that he's not even going to meddle in the affairs of the wedding preparations. He was over and done with it. And then there was also Anan, who shared his own conversation with his wife, Zina, about the whole Bumblebee account thing. And guys, these men just went on and on and on, talking about their various lives, and they all concluded that, anywhere there's women, there's drama, and that's why they love playing golf together, because there's no women, there's no drama. But then there's Fade, is it Fade or Fadi? There's Fadi, who is actually a cousin to DJ Khaled, and he's really, really feeling LJ like that. He's madly crazy about her, and he wants them to start dating, right? And he was saying that, all these complaints that the guys are complaining, he definitely wants to have a taste of it. He really wants to get married, and he's really feeling LJ in that regard. But guys, guess what? LJ is not even feeling the guy like that. So they had actually gone for like a couple's dinner, and oh my God, LJ made it a disaster for this guy. She wasn't even having any of his show of emotion, show of affection, whatever. Like, she blatantly told this guy that, listen, I'm not interested in you. I'm not feeling you like that. And the guy was like, are you having a bad day? I mean, she literally did worse of what she did to Ebraheem during their first blind date to Fadi, and Fadi could not even take it. This guy had to politely beg his leave. Like, he literally left, LJ at the dinner spot. And guys, once again, for the second time, she didn't even feel any sign of remorse. For her, that they're gonna see in circles, you know, at different parties and events, but she's never ever gonna have another date with him again. The next event of this episode was really liberating. So it was Safa preparing for her fashion show. Yes, her first ever fashion show. Remember in the previous episode, she had gone shopping for fabrics for her designs with Zina. So she had gotten the fabrics and she was preparing for it, but then she had an emergency because one of her intending models had called out impromptu. So she needed a replacement, and that was where she had invited her friend Zina over, you know, to appeal to her to help fill in for the model. And Zina was kind of scared, you know, she was kind of scared and she was worried about what people would think about her. You know, she kind of felt like, nah, she has been there before, she has done that, and she doesn't want to go back to that path anymore. So it kind of brought back some kind of traumatic experiences that she had had before. That she used to be a model before, but she was borderline bulimic. Yes, like she used to eat a lot and then she would make herself throw up just to stay in shape. That it was a very, very stressful and traumatic period of her life, you know, but over time she's been able to build her confidence, you know, and, you know, love herself the way she wanted to love herself. And then Safa was just basically encouraging her that, listen, if you loved yourself that much, then you walk my runway to prove to the world that you don't care about your size, about your weight, or whatever, you know, people think are your insecurities. And guys, she actually went for it. Yes, I mean, Safa's fashion show was simply spectacular. Yes, she had utilized the new space, the new apartment that the husband had actually gifted to her on Valentine's Day, and the setup was mind-blowing, guys. It was beautiful, and Safa's designs, well, it was okay. It's kind of impressive. I mean, when you look at someone like Safa, you would literally think that this one, a job in this life is just to sit back and chill and spend the husband's money and be a spoiled brat. You know, the fact that she was able to create those, I mean, those pieces that I saw on her runway, guys, I was really impressed. I was really impressed, and I just could not help but give her all the accolades that she deserved. And then the moment that was really mind-blowing was when Zina walked that runway. Oh my God, Zina looked beautiful. She stood tall right there, and guys, Zina is really tall. She's really tall. I mean, I remember when Safa was trying to take her measurement, you know, to adjust the model's clothes that she was going to be wearing, and Safa was so short, and she even had to climb the couch, and she still was not up to Zina's height. I'm like, wow. This girl is really an Amazon, yes, you know, but it was such a beautiful moment. And even your friends were quite surprised. I mean, they did not see it coming that Zina was going to walk the runway, and her husband was so proud of her. He kept on showering her with praises. I mean, he was just so proud of her. He was just so happy. Everybody was present for Safa's fashion show except Ebraheem. Yeah, guys, Ebraheem did not show up. Now, Danya, who likes drama, obviously, was busy chatting up with Ebraheem and asking Ebraheem, okay, why are you not here? And Ebraheem said he wasn't invited, yes. And Safa, during her confessionals, has said that, well, she did not invite him because he was yet to apologize to her for the insult he showered on her and Zina when they went to have a conversation with him at his coffee shop, that he was rude. So she did not want to entertain any of that at her event. Now, Danya, still loving drama and being petty as usual, decided to do a video of Zina while she was walking the runway and sent it to Ebraheem. And all Ebraheem said was, Zina looked cheap. I'm like, wow. Okay. Okay. Still at Safa's event, she and Zina decided to advise LJ on a newfound friendship with Ebraheem, you know, and they were telling her that, oh, Ebraheem was saying a lot of things about you, blah, blah, blah. And guys, you know, at the start of the show, or I think it was 2 weeks ago when we had our Saturday YouTube live stream, during our character analysis of the cast members, I had mentioned that one thing I really admired about LJ is the fact that she has a mind of her own. Yeah, nobody can actually sway her, you know, into inheriting anybody's beef. If she likes you, she likes you. She doesn't like you, she does not express it, yes. But she's never the type to sway with the crowd. So that was exactly what she displayed at that point in time when Safa and Zina were advising her about Ebraheem. They were basically telling her to be careful that Ebraheem had said things about her behind her back. And she was asking, okay, what did he say? And then I said, oh, Ebraheem had actually mentioned that, he felt like from their blind date, because of how rude and bitchy that LJ was to him, he felt like he was not old enough to, date LJ. And guys, that was a crazy shade because people had been looking at LJ as a gold digger for marrying someone at the age of 21 who was over 30 years older than her. So that was an insult coming from Ebraheem. But then LJ took it very, very well because she was like, well, she's excited and happy that Ebraheem knows himself because, of course, Ebraheem is very, very young for her. So she can't even have anything romantic to do with Ebraheem. Yes, Ebraheem is not a standard. I'm like, yes, girl, that's how to answer a shade. But then Safa was kind of surprised because probably Safa was expecting LJ to be dramatic, to overreact. But then LJ did not give anybody satisfaction to see her lose her princessy look. Nah. Instead, she affirmed Ebraheem's shade that, listen, yeah, he's a small boy. He's not up to my standards. Okay, fine. That's what we're talking about. Finally, moving on to the epic fight of the season. Yes, Ebraheem and Danya had decided to reciprocate the energy that Zeina'S and Safa had dished out to Ebraheem at his coffee shop, but in a much more amplified tone. I mean, guys, these people decided to overdo it. You know what we say about you cannot go into a fight and dictate what your opponent will bring to the fight. Guys, this was a typical scenario of that saying. Yes, Zeina'S and Safa, they were wrong, in my frank opinion, to go to Ebraheem's office to have such a triggering conversation with him about him snitching up on them to Farhana. Yes, the conversation was legit, it needed to be had, but them having that conversation at Ebraheem's place of business in the presence of his staff, guys, I did not like that at all. And so Ebraheem, who had still not gotten over that episode and had been planning his revenge for the longest time, I think for over a week, decided to met it out. And guess what? Danya, who had sort of like been targeting Zeina'S for the longest time, in fact from episode 1, decided to follow. She decided to accompany, as an accomplice, Ebraheem to Zeina'S office. And ladies and gentlemen, it was so dramatic.
Bravo, bravo. طيب خلصتوا؟
No, just one more thing, And you said you're a CEO and billion-dollar deals. But in your Instagram, it doesn't seem that you're selling property. It seems that more that you're trying to sell yourself.
Ebraheem's pettiness was on another level. First off, he stormed Zeina'S office, telling Zeina'S that he wants Zeina'S to work for him. He's a CEO, he owns his own flower shop, he owns his own coffee shop. Yes, Zeina'S is just an employee to Versace, is it Palazzo di Versace or whatever they call the place. Yes, she's not the owner of the company. And Zeina'S was like, no, you cannot buy the company is not for sale. Dude decided to come from another angle, yes, to look for trouble. For him, he said, okay, call the owner of the company then. I have a proposal for the owner. I want to buy the company. And Zeina'S said, no, I am the company. Guys, that was where the drama started. Ebraheem started hurling, insults as in, he said a lot of things which were not really nice. He even went as far as saying that, oh yes, I have checked your Instagram account. You make it look like you are promoting your business, but you're not. Instead, it looks like you're actually selling yourself. In other words, Ebraheem was kind of slut-shaming Zeina'S in her office where there were a lot of staff listening in on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, it was so dirty, and the most annoying part of it all was that Danya was literally adding fuel to fire. He was like, oh, look at her, she's not being classy. It's a good offer. He has an offer for you. Take it. Guys, I'm like, that was totally not nice. That was just completely rude of Danya because, guys, what else can I say? That was Danya totally inheriting Ebraheem's beef with Zeina'S. And guys, at that point in time, she just really looked low like this in my eyes. Okay, to cut the long story short, right? The back and forth happened for a while. Ebraheem obviously was hurling insults at Zeina'S, and Zeina'S was just like, oh, bravo, bravo. She didn't want to say anything derogatory back at Ebraheem because, of course, she's in our own professional environment. She was trying to be the good and the bigger person. But then she noticed that the drama was not going to stop anytime soon. And they were already creating a scene in our office. They were raising their voices. They were doing a lot of gesticulations. And the staff, they were already, leaning in to listen on whatever was going on. So she decided to, walk them out. She told them, you know what, it's time for you to leave. So Ebraheem had picked up his bag and was about to leave. And that was when Danya decided to do extra. So during her confessional, she was saying that, she was going to leave, but she had her coffee in her hand and she could not find the trash around. So she was going to leave the coffee on top of Zeina'S table. Guys, that was provocative. She knew that was going to provoke Zeina'S. Yes, I mean, that was not a friendly gesture. If they had paid a friendly courtesy visit to Zeina'S, guys, personally, I don't think Zeina'S would have picked offense if any of them had dropped their coffee cup on top of a table. It would have just been like, okay, my friends did not find the trash can, so I'm going to trash it for them, after they leave. But then Danya knew that was going to trigger Zeina'S. And also, another meaning I read to that was that, you think Ebraheem does not have anything. Yes, oh yeah, in your face. Put the cup right there. So it was just very, very rude. And most of all, it was very, very provocative. Very, very provocative. And that was when Zeina'S had actually used her hand to push away the coffee mug. And before we knew it, Danya was throwing punches. And guys, that was what happened with the fight. Now, the fight happened, yes, it happens. Both ladies were dragging at each other. But then what really shocked me was that during Danya's confessional, she twisted the story sharp, ASAP. And she was saying that, that Zeina'S was going to pick up the coffee and throw it at her. And then she had decided to pick the coffee by herself and throw it at Zeina'S. And I'm like, I don't understand. Am I blind? What did I watch? And what is this lady saying in her confessional? Guys, it was just two opposites. And it was obviously a lie. Guys, I don't want to spill the tea on what happened in episode 6 because there was a lot of lies from Danya. There was a lot of deadly, terrible lies from Danya. But I'm just going to stop this conversation right here because I really want to know your thoughts about that whole scenario. As a matter of fact, everything that happened on this particular episode, but more emphasis on the fight. Who do you think is at fault? Who do you think is lying? What do you think about all what Danya was doing, Danya's involvement in the whole drama? I mean, I understand, that for her, loyalty is a huge deal. So she was trying to show to her friend Ebraheem that she was loyal to him. No matter what happens, his enemies will be her enemies, his friends will be her friends, blah, blah, blah. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about people inheriting people's beef? So just go ahead, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Dubai Blings. Have an amazing day.